guys a little bit today. Probably going to take a couple of days off, go visit my grandkids and stuff this weekend. So this may be the last time you hear from me. We'll see for the next few days. But, you know, this is the bottom line, guys, is that people, you know, you believe the gospel, you believe it's all Christ, right? Otherwise you don't believe it, because you realize that it's not by works, right? It's all by Him. It's because His precious shed blood that paid our sin debt. And now the life we live is not I but Christ, right? So it's His imputed righteousness. And meaning any righteousness we have is Christ's, that robe of righteousness, that wedding garment. And until we get to heaven, at which time we'll have our glorified bodies, you know. But that's still His glory, you know, and His righteousness shining through, being fully manifest in us. Because it says when we see Him that day, then we'll be like Him, as we'll see Him as He really is, no longer through a glass dimly. We're being changed as we behold Him. So it's still His glory and righteousness being put on display through His body, the church, you know. So it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. But people, you know, again, they might seem like they're teaching the gospel of grace, but I have put out a video before about addendums. You know, my husband works in construction. We have contracts and things. And sometimes the owner will come after we've signed a contract and we're doing building work, and they add an addendum to the work. And it changes the overall outcome of the building project. So when you listen to all that someone says concerning the gospel, you'll learn that they're not teaching it according to the scriptures over time. Like if they teach imparted righteousness instead of imputed, meaning you now are made righteous in yourself, you know, which not everybody that believes in the new heart really believes this way. They might have a different definition, but most of them, or a lot of them, do, and they are using it to exclude believers who believe the gospel, because then they use it to fruit inspect. See, if you're believing in any type of fruit inspecting, then you believe in imparted righteousness, or else you're not saved. Okay? And so that's why, you know, I teach against fruit inspecting on all those types of things. So it's just going to keep becoming more and more manifest over time as we get closer and closer. The apostasy is happening. We're getting closer to the rapture of the church. And the tares are bundled before the wheat is harvested. So basically the word does the separating. The tares are bundling themselves and showing what they really believe. Fruit inspecting is spiritual abuse. I've done many teaching videos on it. It is spiritual abuse, and the Lord Jesus did not teach it. He spoke of the words, the profession, what comes out of the mouth, as far as determining who a false teacher is, as being a wolf. And that was a wolf in sheep's clothing is what he was referring to, and that was fruit inspecting their profession, their words. Okay? And I don't like to go around and say somebody's saved, somebody's not saved, because I am not God and I am not on His throne. But I tell you what, people will expose themselves the more clearly the word is spoken and contended for, and that's what happens. And because they get angry, see, and then they start, because they're angry and offended, they make distinctions with what they teach, and that shows who they are. But so, you know, sometimes when we start making clear distinctions, I'll have people email me or ask me, you know, well, now I'm kind of worried, what if, you know, well, I know so-and-so has this or that Calvinist belief, or, you know, are they really saved? And I'm like, oh, I hope you understand, I'm addressing people that are fighting against the gospel and calling people with a profession of faith unsaved. I'm not talking about people that aren't sure about this or that in the word yet. And there is a huge difference between being confused and promoting doctrines of demons and opposing and calling unsaved those who have the profession of faith in the gospel of Jesus Christ. So, gosh, I mean, yeah, there's a big difference between being a believer seeking the truth and just a victim of false teaching, and one who is actively being a proponent of that false teaching and opposing those who speak the truth. So don't worry. I mean, if you believed the gospel and Jesus, according to the scriptures, you're saved. It's not like a big complicated thing. I'm really trying to speak against those that do complicate it, and sometimes you have to get more detailed when you do that. And my whole channel is not to put anybody in fear. The whole purpose I'm doing this is to get you to, grounded in your assurance and just joyfully enjoying your fellowship with the Lord, growing in grace and the knowledge of Him. And it's actually to help people get out of fear. So that's not my intention at all. And I really love you guys. I hope you have a blessed weekend.